Welcome everybody to episode 6 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Ranger gameplay livestream. So I guess to start things off today, we will confirm that I did upgrade to patch 8. And we're going to talk more about this as we go through and you see some of the different gameplay elements and how that has changed the UI as well as different aspects of the gameplay itself. I played through it this week, as you can see down here. It took about 5.5 hours to play through it all again to get us back to the same spot where we left off our last stream, which was in patch 7. And I've tried to keep it as close as possible to the outcome of where we are now to where we left off. Now that's going to be impossible because RNG plays a role in certain things. And the game is just different in several different aspects, which has affected where we are compared to when we left off. But for all intents and purposes, it's the same as where we left off. So we'll go ahead and kind of explain some of those differences, like I said, as we go through this. You remember where we left off last time? We were struggling to move a rock. Yes, an epic fail of massive proportions was witnessed here on live stream. At the end of the last live stream, when it came to us simply trying to move a rock. I couldn't remember how I had done it in the past, so we're going to start off there. We're going to start off and correct that mistake. And you'll see the horribly convoluted way in which Larian Studios has added a particular mechanic into the game, which totally absolves me of any guilt at all in going through the entire rock fiasco. But for now, let's just go ahead and jump right in, and we'll take care of that real quick. Okay, here we are, back at the same spot where we left. We had ungrouped our party here. We had left a portion of it back here. We had taken Lazelle, who's our strongest character, and we were trying to deal with this rock. Can't throw it, it's too heavy. Can't use the shove action on it. So Larian has this mechanic here that is just completely unknown in any other computer application at all. You move over the rock, you click, you hold down, and you drag the rock. Yeah, it's always been that simple. It's not something that I utilize in the game play at all. So the thought of being able to actually physically click and drag it using my mouse as opposed to the character doing some sort of action to influence that rock just didn't occur to me. I'm actually going to... I have no idea how I did this in the past and forgot about how that worked on a previous playthrough. But I'm going to also go back and on the way back to continuing through the live stream here, we're gonna head back to the Grove, and we're gonna do this same thing at the other location with the movable rock that we didn't know how to deal with then either. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was an epic fail on my part, and it really comes down to clicking and dragging. So I know, crazy. So let's go ahead after all of that effort here and loot this chest. So we've got some gold. 2 speed potions, which is good. We're gonna split these, and we're gonna give 1 to Lizelle and 1 to Shadowheart. We're gonna take the ruby and we're gonna put that on Draval, and then we've got 2 other items here. We're gonna send these both over to Gale for now, and we'll put the agate on Draval. So now with that done, we'll just go ahead and move Lizelle back here. We'll group our party back up, and we'll take a look at a couple of things here in the inventory. So, group back up, party tab, here we go. Okay, so first of all, let's look at a couple of the differences here between the playthroughs. The first is that there was Scale Mail +1 that is now available as a purchasable item from Damon in the Druid's Grove. I'm not entirely sure if I had that last time or not, but basically put the Scale Mail +1 here, move the original Scale Mail down to Shadowheart. That removed her plate mail, which was 13 armor class, and moved it up to 14, so both of us gained out of that purchase. And you can see I've got 870-ish plus the 80 here. So yeah, 950-ish gold, 973 gold-ish between my characters. So everything else about it is fairly similar, but if you look through my items here, you're going to see a couple of extra things. There was an Arrow of Darkness that was lootable from a chest that I picked up, but there was also a Cap of Curing, which was a rare item that I picked up out of a chest. This is a result of the new Bard class being introduced into the game as part of patch 8. You're now going to see bardic items that specifically are meant for, and I'm just taking care of something else while I talk in the background here. They're specifically meant for the Bard class. In this case, it's a helmet that your Bard can wear that when you inspire an ally, it also heals them for 1d6 hit points. I don't have a Bard in the party. I'm not going to have a Bard in the party, so it's not very important for me to utilize it, but I wanted to leave it in my inventory just to show you some of the differences in what you're going to see in the playthrough. The other thing was that as soon as you land, as soon as you hit the ground after the prologue, right when you start, one of the first things that you loot on the ground on the beach is a drum, an instrument for a bard to use. So the main thing that bards are going to be utilizing, which is this instrument slot, which is here, that has been added to the game, you're able to pick one of those up really quickly once you land on the ground. So the bard class doesn't become handicapped by not having an item like that. You're able to pick them up right off the bat when you hit the ground. So for the most part, though, looking through the character sheet and the spell book, the character sheet's all the same. I picked all the same perks and features as we went through. The spell book might be slightly different than what we had previously. I don't believe that I had Create Water available last time. But for the most part, the spells there might be some slight differences here and there in what's been prepared, but nothing that is extraordinarily out of the ordinary or something like that, or is going to break the gameplay. Just slight differences in where we are. So let's go ahead and head back, and you'll see up here that the mini-map, the UI has changed. You can see the icons are now different. A white colored icon indicates the character that you're controlling, with the blue icons indicating the other characters in the party, as well as little directional arrows that tell you which way they're facing. Makes it a lot easier to see which direction they're facing. You also have quest markers that are now shown up here in the map to let you know which directions various quests are from where you're at. So just something else. You're also going to notice that the icons that were here around the side have been moved. The rest icon is now down here, and it allows you to do short rests and long rests here from a button press down here, as opposed to having both different icons up here in this location. For the rest of it, you're able to see better your conditions here. In addition to mousing over them, they're also going to be showing down here. That was always there. It was just the icons were slightly different, a little bit harder to read. So they've really kind of improved quite a bit of the UI here, which is something that people had been asking for quite a bit, was to make the UI more graphically intuitive and more graphically explanatory, rather than having to navigate through menus to be able to view that sort of stuff. So we're going to head to the roadside cliff rune circle here, and we're going to head back to the grove. And we're going to head back in and go back to where we were down by the fishing bear. And we'll pick up an amulet down there at that point. So everything else in here went exactly the same, with the exception of one thing. And I'll explain that because we're going to walk right by it, actually. So, for those of you who didn't know already, and I haven't made it a big point to go through every single secret in this game, but the haystack is lootable here. If you have Speak with Animals, you can talk to the cows, and the ox, or the oxen rather, the ox will tell you that there's something shiny hidden in here. You can go search it and find a chest. The other thing that happened was, in the last playthrough, I failed the perception check with Mattis and Sylphie down here. So when that happens, you don't notice that Sylphie has stolen from you. And if you do pass the perception check, you catch him in the act, and you can learn more about what's going on with Mattis and Sylphie and Mole and everybody else inside the Dragon's Lair down here. So that was it was pure RNG. It's a background roll. There was nothing I could do to change it. My ranger just happened to pass it, so we have that change. So let's head back down here. And we'll actually do something. Here's the other rock. This other flat rock down here. Again, we can sit on it, we can attack it, but there weren't any other options for that. So right now it's an interaction option, and yes, Orm here is fishing. So he'll pop fish out here. They're theft though, so if you steal them, he's going to be very upset with you. So if I move up here close to the item, now I can click and drag the rock out of the way. And there's an amulet here. Now the amulet is going to count as theft, and Orm is kind of watching, so if you hide, you can see I'm not in his detection cone anymore. And I can try and take the amulet. Okay, just like that. So now, go to my inventory and look at it. We have the Amulet of Sylvanas, which is a really nice amulet. It allows you to cast Lesser Restoration, which we can put it in place, and you can see it removes a disease or a condition. So exhaustion, poison, that sort of stuff, it removes that from a character. So it's a really nice one to have. So we'll put that on Shadowheart. Okay, there we go. So now she can cast, move to her, she'll have access to Lesser Restoration as a spell, and you cast it and it can be restored after a short rest. So really nice to have as you're going through this. So what we can do also while we're here is let's head back down here. I want to try something real quick. I haven't tried this before. I'm going to go back down to Nettie's room.
Come, boy. It's all right.
And I apologize. My throat's a little scratchy today, so you may be getting a little bit of that.
With haste.
I'm going to go back down here to Nettie's room and check the status of the bird again. Okay, so it's still exhausted. So let's have Shadowheart cast Restoration on the bird. Okay, so it didn't remove exhaustion. So they have pretty much... There used to be, in the first playthrough that I did, when you healed the bird, it removed the exhaustion and the bird popped up and was flying in place here.
What if Halson
and you knew that the bird was going to survive at that point. But for now, it looks like they're adding some suspense back into it a little bit by just saying that Nettie's tried to heal it, and anything that you do to it's not going to be affecting it. So, all right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head back out of here, and we're going to head back toward the Blighted Village, which is where we were saying that we were going to go with the end of the last live stream. So let's go ahead and pop up here. There's Timber again, the squirrel, who we already had our interaction with. We did have our interaction with the owlbear in the owlbear cave. We did save the cub again, allow it to survive after we were done. That's going to have some implications later on. You can kill the owlbear cub, but if you leave it alive at this point, there will be an opportunity. I don't need to go this way. There will be an opportunity for something dealing with that later on. So leave it alive and give yourself that chance later. So here's where you were, as you can see on the mini map. We are going to head this way across the bridge. We've already explored everything else underneath it, and we'll actually just verify that. So you can see the mini map, everything down at the beach, the cliffs, all through the grove. All of this has all been explored. This is just that additional way to get over to the other side over here. We're heading over here across the bridge to get into the Blighted Village over here on this side. So let's go ahead and head across the bridge and go do this. Now this has changed. These did not used to be traveler's chests here. They were just crates previously. So looks like some more stuff to send to camp. So some knives, plate, and a spoon that are all expensive. Malachite, shovel, and see, here's a loot. This one's broken, so not going. It's an item. It's not going to be usable by a bard. But again, worth 25 gold, so worth some money here. Then around the back, we've got a couple more. This silverware's all cheap. And the last chest here. Some expensive silverware and plates.
No traps, please.
Always need more camp items.
Dead goblins. Dead travelers.
Were they heading to the Druid's Grove?
Okay, got some dead civilians over here. So we'll take the healing and the protection, put those on Shadowheart, put these all on those elf for carrying. Standard stuff that we're used to doing every other time that we go through these. And we'll just spend a few minutes here doing some looting of the characters. It's not, I mean, you could obviously leave all this behind, but it's gold, it's free, so just take yourself a couple extra seconds and pick it all up. And here we have a drawing here. It's got this outline around it, this orange outline around it. And now what we can do is, up here is the main entrance into the Blighted Village. So let's take a couple of minutes and just kind of explore around the outside. And again, it's unexplored area for me over here. It did cross down here. This is where the Owlbear Cave
Woman
was.
with shadows for eyes, you said.
Merely that if the eyes
So
are
you
the
can see
mirror to
the
soul,
Blighted
yours
Village
have
is all up
dark
here.
Curtains across the mirror. No offense taken, I hope.
Not necessarily. I haven't made up my mind about you yet.
And you can see that we did have an enemy show up on the map. We've got a bugbear over here. So I still have Speak with Animals active here. So let's go over here and talk to Scratch.
Keep moving, stranger. Quietly. I told you to go.
You see a name etched into the leather. Scratch.
Okay, so because we passed the perception check, that opens up this dialogue option for us here.
You know my name? Interesting. A predator wouldn't care to learn it. Still, you should go. My friend is injured. He needs rest. Of course he will. And then we'll return home. We were attacked. Cackling, furry things on two legs. And their smell, it was strange, rotten, evil.
You know the creatures he describes. Gnolls.
No, I won't leave him.
This is the opportunity for you to have the dog show up at your camp. So you can probably anger him a little bit by proving that the man is dead, but at some point he'll realize that
If it comes to that,
he's dead on his
I
own.
may. Thank
And
you.
just like that, you get some approvals and he'll show up at your camp. You can loot him as well, and you can gather some more information. And I'm going to loot this here. And I'm checking to see... Hold on, let me sort out something on the sounds here. I think you might be getting an echo in the sounds here. So let me see if that gets rid of the echo. For some reason I was getting sound playing through my headphones and I was able to hear it, an echo involved in it. So I'm going to change the sound output here and we'll see if this gets rid of it. Okay, sorry about that. Don't know why that was happening. So over here, if you move up close to the water, you can see we have an entire other pathway down here and around this area. I believe that's the Risen Road. It's another way to get over to it from here. We're not going to go that way yet, but you can see from the map there's obviously a way to cross it, either via jump or just wading through the water. So heading down here, and again, just looking around, seeing if there's any lootable objects or other pathways.
Battle is remarkable, as is your battle stance itself.
Jack, a technique known to few outside Kalir. Shall I teach you?
I'll pass, thank you. I prefer abjuration over acrobatics.
So we got some fish here to loot. We've got a bucket of fish. A basket here with nothing in it. There's some rotten fish that's going to poison you for 10 turns. Then we have a fishing rod here. I'm going to leave all this in place just so know where it is. I haven't actually tried to see if the fishing rod would do anything as far as fishing goes. Something to explore later on throughout the game, though, if there actually is some sort of fishing implemented in the game other than having Orm the Bear fish for you, like we already saw. Okay. So now you can look at the minimap. You can see this area down here is explored, with this area still left to be opened up. So we can head back to the main entrance. And again, that's right where we came through with the Owlbear Cave.
You seem to know a good deal about our condition game.
So we're going to cross this way,
Too fine a point on it.
and we're just going to
Specimen, aren't you?
look over here on the other side real quick. Okay. There are some more camp supplies here. Looks like we have a way to get both up and down, possibly. Down this way on the map, which would take us over here, and get up, which is another way to get into... We climb up here, that gets us around the back of this building, and gets us into the Blighted Village again. So, let's bring the group back over here. We'll put everybody into a snake, and I'm gonna get my Raven back out. I'm gonna group hide everybody, and I'm gonna toggle the group, and I'm gonna move my ranger up here to the main gate. Obviously,
Looks like an ambush. A
Okay.
clumsy one.
so there is an invisible perception check here, which we passed, and you can see that it opened up some icons on the map, and you now see perception cones on the ground. If you fail that perception check, you won't see any of that. The goblins are still going to be there. You just won't know that they're there. So we have Goblin up here that's ambushing. We have some more over here that are ambushing. And there are various ways to deal with this. You can see right now that they're yellow. They're not immediately hostile. Okay. So that means that you have an opportunity to interact with them, to see if there are other options other than combat to explore. Now, me, I'm not going to do that.
Moonhaven.
So this is the village of Moonhaven. Everybody's dead. So the goblins obviously did it. So I'm not going to be sparing them any mercy here as I go through the Blighted Village. I'm going to clear out everything in the Blighted Village above ground before I start exploring the underground areas here. There's a lot to do in the Blighted Village, and I don't know if we'll get through all of it today, but we'll see how far we get through it. And this is going to start off with me kind of getting my characters into position here around the area. So here you can see that my path is going to miss the detection cone. So I can move my ranger through here. And I can in fact get them up here to the top of the building without being seen. Okay. So up here on top of this building, we have a goblin sharp eye. We also have a booyog. Now the booyogs are their casters, they're spell casters. So you want to eliminate. We have another one over here on this roof, and then we have a tracker and another tracker. So the booyogs are your priority targets, so to speak, here in looking at this. So what I'm going to do is actually move a couple of people into a spot here. I'm actually going to see if I just move over here. You see Lazelle's path is going to take her through the perception cone, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to move her up here. Then when she gets here, I'm going to jump across this stone so I miss it. And you see there's another ladder over here. And again, I can get Lazelle up here on top without triggering any response from anybody to begin with. Okay.
There is work to do.
So now I'm going to do the same thing with Shadowheart over here. Just make sure that her path of travel doesn't take her through that cone.
Need to press onward.
And I can again move her up here on top of the building. Then I'm going to take Gale and move him up on top of the other building to support Lazelle. Okay, so it looks like... Oh, I can't jump there without moving into it. Gale, with his low strength, is always much harder to maneuver around with using the jump ability, because jump is, all, like I said, is always determined by your strength score. So... Okay, so I think we're pretty well set up here. So what we're going to do is trigger an interaction here. the first thing I'm gonna do, I think, is drop myself out of
You
hide.
sniffing where you ain't ought to be, friend? Might have to take that nose.
The mark glows, but you feel nothing in response. Your illithid power is beyond reach until you rest.
Okay, so now we have some options here to try and influence the goblin here. And this thing might have messed up my positioning by triggering that, because Gale is in this cutscene and shouldn't be.
Spollocks. Fezzik funning around while I'm stuck dealing with yobs.
So you could get out of this entire thing by saying that you're here to see Fezzik.
That fact. He's at the windmill.
Okay. So now the Booyog is turned around and is looking at me, so
Darkness cloak me.
we can get Shadowheart back into stealth, but we can't with Jorvalen. Jorvalen is hidden out here. Up now, see the turned around again. So good. So now I can hide. I can hide, and I can trigger this fight right here. So we'll go ahead and trigger it. Okay. That started all the initiatives, but only my ranger is actually in combat right now. So what we can do is use our bonus action, target the Booyog. Now the Booyog is still yet to go, as well as the Sharp Eye here, which is the other one on top. But we'll go ahead and eliminate the Booyog first here. Okay. And now we're going to get our Raven, who is not in combat. Come up here and rend vision on the Sharp Eye. Perfect. So it's blinded. Now the Raven has entered combat. So now all of these three over here are in combat, but I still have characters that are not. So let's go ahead and get Lae'zel to come up and attack the Booyog in place. So the Booyog is 3 to 13. So there's a pretty good chance I'm going to be able to do this without needing to use any superiority die. Perfect. Lae'zel is still not in combat because it was a one-hit kill. So and another one-hit kill. So I can actually take, and all of these one-hit kills just mean that Lae'zel was able to make that kill out of sight of anybody else and continue not being in combat because of it. So let's see if I can get down off of the roof here. Go through the door. Walk up behind the last tracker. Take him out. Okay, all of that with Lae'zel not being in combat. So now I can take her and put her in hide so you can see the detection cone, and you can see where that goblin up on the roof can see. What they can and cannot perceive here. So I can move back out and around. When I get to this point, we can jump over to here. Move down around the edge of the detection cone. And I can get Lazelle up here on top of this roof as well. And she can make an attack against the sharp eye. Perfect. Just like that. Battle joined, battle ended. Easy as that. So, again, like I say, it's a way to utilize the game mechanics to your benefit. In tabletop, that encounter would be quite a bit different, and it really depends upon how willing your DM is to deal with attacks that are outside of the vision of other enemies.
Let's explore.
A lot of DMs don't have things like mini figurines and that sort of stuff available to them. So being able to plot out where characters are actually standing and where vision cones may interact and overlap with each other are different and a lot harder to do in settings like that. So they may just, basically tell you at some point that as soon as you make the attack, you're going to get seen. That's just it. And it's an easy way to manage encounters. So here the game, allows you to do what I assume is the standard vision cones that are going to be specific to a particular enemy based upon the 5e rules. So I don't feel bad about utilizing the game mechanics to do stuff like that. It's in the game, it's not an exploit or a cheat. It's just part of how the game mechanics work. So look at how to plan things out like that, because it can make your combat scenarios a lot easier. So little planning up front is never gonna hurt. And this body's kind of in a weird spot. Roll of sleep is very nice. Okay. And this basically clears out the first encounter inside the Blighted Village. Well, the first if you come in the main entrance here. Again, there's wooden doors over here you can utilize a key to get into. I'm going to explore and clean out all of the upper areas first. You can see that there's also a web here, which is going to offer another way to get into this closed off door area. But again, I'm not going to worry about it for now. Okay, so let's continue on, and we've got this bugbear over here. You can see he's obviously been into the drink a little bit. He's sleeping.
Softer than a whisper.
Oops. So there's probably some other interaction available for me here. Waking up the bugbear or something like that. Maybe talking to him or interacting with him with it in some way. But I'm not too worried about that.
Unheard, unseen.
I'm gonna break the group apart. Just gonna take Lazelle up here. Critical hit. One hit quitter. Okay. Bring her back. Put the group back together. And I'm not going to loot anything just yet. Like I said earlier, I'm going to kind of explore all of this for a little bit before we go.
Weapon blueprints. A master blacksmith's work.
We'll come back and deal with that. I was talking about these.
Simple ink work, simple design.
That's another side quest. We'll come back, like I say, we'll come back and deal with that here in a minute. And Lazelle's not hidden. While I'm exploring this, I always just want to stay hidden so I can see perception cones before I walk into an enemy. Since Lazelle was hidden.
Onward.
Tolerable.
The mission has to come
Let's
first.
see if we can get this grouped up again. This is one of the things that's kind of janky about the hide mechanic. Okay, looks like they're all moving now.
Have to keep going.
So exploring the village here. It's like there's a campsite, a campfire up here. Looks like there's some roasted meat with what looks like a dagger of some sort stuck through it. Again, we're not going to loot anything yet. We'll come back and explore all of that stuff later. But for now, we're just going to move through the village, kind of open things up, deal with any enemies that we find as we go through this. Okay, so we got an autosave there.
What if your kin fail you?
If I can reach the creche, my kin will provide. Any failure will be mine alone.
If you say so. Just don't expect me to put all my eggs in the same basket.
That expression must sound curious for Githyanki ear, given the way they're birthed.
Okay, so we have a broken bridge here. Which some, if not all of your characters are probably going to be able to jump across. It looks like short enough for everybody to make it, even Gale. We'll have to see. Walking through some mud. Perception failed. 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 Great. Okay, so she did perceive it. Was our last chance to possibly perceive it here. And this is one of the new things that has been implemented into the game. And I'll kind of move everybody out of the way here so that you can see it. It found this dirt mount. Okay. Now, I don't know if some of you noticed or not, but when I was looking through the character screen earlier, I have a shovel in my inventory. You normally don't carry around tools like tongs and shovels and hammers and that sort of stuff. You may carry them in tabletop for specific purposes, but normally in this game you don't. Well, now it's beneficial for you to carry a shovel in somebody's inventory at all times. That's because if you find these dirt mounds, you can use the shovel to dig up that dirt mound. So
to keep focused.
if you have a shovel available to you to be able to do it. So
Hands on everything.
you'll see there's an animation. And it pops a chest out of the ground. So if you don't have a shovel, you're not going to be able to do that. So for half a pound in carry weight, just always put a shovel in your inventory and carry it around that way. So we're going to head back. We're going to kind of curve around this way. It looks like we have a way to get up through the wall here, in addition to a gate that we can open here. Now remember in the interaction earlier, said I was looking for Fessick. He said it was up by the windmill, which is here. So this is obviously the goblin leader's spot here. We can see that there's at least 3 that we can see. A warg here, another sharp eye here, a tracker down here. There's a mauled sheep down here, but there's probably others. Well, you know there is because you just saw a rock or something being thrown in from this way. And if you watch very carefully, I might not be in range to see it. No, I'm not. So we'll deal with that here in a second. So there are no detection cones that are reaching through this wall. Well, I don't know as if I've ever noticed that before. Interesting. Oh, I do remember this. Yeah. You can take that if you want. The description says that somebody's been rubbing on it quite a bit. So what does that automatically remind you of, or what do you automatically think of? It's not. But the book, I don't remember being part of that previously. And I said I wasn't going to loot, so I'm not going to explore a bunch of this stuff here yet. So I'm going to give that windmill a wide berth here. I've already looted the bugbear. Yep. So coming across this area here, let's see, I'm still hidden. And again, I apologize for my scratchy throat here. Okay, so yeah, here we go. We can see more of who's here. They're taunting something. Goblin Devout, they're clerics. There's Fezzik, the boss. Got another one over here.
Look at him fly!
And still can't see anything about the windmill. So we're going to approach this cautiously here. And see kind of how we want to go about doing this. So there's no way for them to come across this way. They could jump out here and come all the way through the gate. It's fairly unlikely though. We do have a way for them to jump up here onto the high ground and get onto this roof system. So we're going to need to be aware of that fact that they can get ranged characters above us if we're down here in the alleyway. But let's kind of look around here. Oh, and you can see that there's a way for us to get up here on the roof of this building ourselves. So we could get up here on top of this building and be across from them and see if there are any other ways. So yeah, there's a way for us for them to get up, climb up here to get to us. So we're not 100% secure up here. They can come around here, climb up this way and get on top of the roof with us. Or else they would have to go all the way around the back and climb up this way. which would take them a while, either that way or through the ladder, which would take them a while to do. But either way, I think at least getting some of our party up on the high ground here is probably a good idea. So I think I'm going to take... and split the group here, and I'm going to take my ranger and put her up here on the roof. And I'm going to bring Gale over here and do the same thing. And I'm going to leave Lizelle and our cleric down on the low ground, but I'm going to try and keep them in a location that is at least a little bit protected. Because see, from here, that's still a long way. I don't think I can attack ranged over there. Oh, I can. Okay, so good. So I can start the encounter from here. With my ranger. So let's go ahead and bring Gale up to a certain point. And again, I can initiate this combat with my ranger and have everybody else kind of ready in ambush positions, so to speak. So let's move... So how am I able to get up here? The only way for me to get up here on top of this is going this long way around. So I think anybody they have down on the ground is going to have to come down through this way. So if they get people up here and I have people down here on the ground, they're probably going to be able to shoot at me with advantage from above. But I think it's still better that I have Lizelle down here, because at least with the warg, that's a high hit point enemy, and Fezark is again higher hit point enemy, so... And there may be enemies that we still don't see. So I'm going to keep Lizelle down here on the ground. Once I initiate this, we may get perception cones that come out here and block off all of this so that Lizelle's not able to move up without entering into combat. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I think. And then Shadowheart, I'm actually going to put Shadowheart here inside of the building a little bit. See if maybe I can keep her hidden for a second. Let's go here and try and initiate this by starting off with an attack against the Sharp Eye. Actually, let's take my Raven before I do that. What the hell was that? Move my Raven out of the way as well. Actually, that's not gonna work. Okay, yeah, I did. So, hide. That was kind of weird. Somebody threw something at me, it looked like.
Look at him fly!
Okay, stealth was successful. So we're gonna hide again. We'll move her out of the way. Okay, so we might have gotten a free attack there. Looks like they're all investigating it.
Nobody's listening.
You took a life, now yours will be taken in turn. A fair exchange, perhaps.
Oh, that was bad. Okay, so I didn't necessarily want that to happen. I'm going to have to deal with Fezzik here pretty quickly. So let's see how I want to deal with this. So Goblin Tracker way over there is going to be the next to move. And I did manage to kill that Goblin Tracker, which is good. Okay. Then the Sharp Eye way down there, so there are 2 wargs to deal with. So that tracker and then that one. Okay, so they're a ways away, but they are ranged. So let's stay back here so that they have to reach high ground to be able to hit us. So we are just going to have to deal with Fezzik here, though. So let's Fezzik threw a firebomb of some sort at us. So not entirely sure that an ensnaring strike is going to be of much benefit here. So let's go ahead and reapply or put Hunter's Mark on him. So if I go with something like Piercing Shot here, 70% chance to hit. Or to 11, or if I just do melee, yeah, I think it's still going to be better with the Piercing Shot. There's no disadvantages here. Ooh, big critical hit. That was nice. Okay, that helped a lot, because now when Gale gets into the action here, magic missiles are going to be enough to take him out. So that's very, very nice. So now that we've done that, Shadowheart is still not in combat. It was right where we hit her was good because all the perception cones moved right around her. So she's not in combat, and neither is Lizelle. And you can see that there are no perception cones overlapping the way up here until you get up to here. And then at that point, you're going to get seen. So there's no point in us moving Lizelle to that to try and get them up there at this point. I think what we're going to do with Lizelle is move her up to a spot
without delay
up here. Where it's kind of hidden behind this. And that way she'll be able to attack anything that comes down this road, so to speak. So something I would like to do, however, I would like to kill him so that Gale can place
Gone with the weave.
Yeah, because the wargs are active in this. So would like to try and kill him now. So maybe I do move Shadowheart up there. On top of the building to try and kill him. I just don't know if she's going to be able to make it. Let's try. Okay. So the perception gones kind of big here. And they're kind of hard to see against the roof. Oh, dang it. That was not what I wanted. I thought when she stood up after climbing up there, she came out of hide, so I was gonna hide her again and actually unhit her.
Still in shadow.
So that put her in a pretty bad spot now. So yeah. See, I'm not going to be able to get...
Not one false move.
Maybe I can. Maybe I can get Lizelle up here. And maybe I can jump way over here. Alright. Good. That knocked him out, so now when Gale's turn comes up, I can cast some area denial spells down here. So, but I do need to hope that they don't gang up on Revolve through this. Couple of dashes, so they're getting ranged characters up onto the high ground. That's perfectly fine. They're dashing, so they don't have another action to be able to do, so they're not able to attack afterwards, which is all good. Okay, and the wargs actually did not move. So Gale, if he wanted to cast Cloud of Daggers down here, he would move up to there. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now let's see if he can move back at all. So they're both there, so kind of stay in line behind the chimney a little bit. See if he can move there. Now the Devout down here is going to want to move up. Huh. Cast Bless. That's good. That's what clerics do. So let's use a dash and get her out of the way. I'm not going to trigger any opportunity attacks here by doing this, which is good. Okay. And now I can cast Healing Word.
Take you.
Get some healing back. And end the turn there. Okay, so took some damage running through the Cloud of Daggers. Which is exactly what you want to see. And now, can I see anybody here from my current position? So I can hit the Devout. This Devout's outside of range, so I get disadvantage. But I can hit this one. So who's going next here? So a Goblin Tracker here is going to go next. And then that Goblin Tracker, and then Lizelle. So let's leave these two Lizelle here. Let's maybe try and focus on the Devout over here. Okay. Still only a 49% chance to hit. Let's go ahead and take it. Good, we got rid of the bless. Failed a saving throw, so the bless disappeared on the 2 trackers. That's good, that's what we wanted. So let's let them have their attacks. Okay, so dashing around, that's all good. Okay, missed, perfect. Let's get Lazelle to come down here and take an attack against the Devout. Perfect. Got rid of that one. Can't get down here, it doesn't look like. Yeah, not enough. Oh, I can do a pommel attack here. Oh. Could have eliminated him with that and avoided the attack, but just unlucky. I missed anyway. The wargs are not engaging, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not complaining, but yeah, it's just interesting. So who's gonna go up next? This Devout up here. So how about we move Gale up to the edge here. And see if wow. Really well done. Managed to kill 2. Got a good hit on the other one. So good deal. Nice hit there as well. Okay. So now we'll reapply Hunter's Mark down here. See if we can get the kill here. Perfect. Well done. So now all we have is 2 big melee units, but they have to cross through the Cloud of Daggers to get to me if they ever activate. So we'll just end the turn here. We'll leave Lazelle actually up here. Actually, we'll move her right here. Maybe that'll block the way up. And I don't know if... yeah, target's way too far to get over there, so... we'll see what happens after this if the wargs activate right here. They are definitely not. So... we want the Cloud of Daggers to stay up, and we want to activate them, so I think what I'm probably going to do is take Lazelle down here on this turn. Now, I can...
I will ascend.
No, I can't. We need to end Gale's turn first. Okay. So now we can take Lazelle and we can move her down here with a jump. See if she can get close enough. No, she can't here yet. So we'll just end turn these 2. We'll end her turn as well. Oh, now the wargs are moving. Okay, good. So Now we have an opportunity to attack them directly. So let's see what we have here. So, Witch Bolt might be nice. But let's just see if we can get off a Firebolt here. Perfect. Cause some damage. Exactly what you need to do. Okay, so now at least they're in range here at this point, so we can start looking at various attack options. Made a saving throw. So now we can reapply Hunter's Mark here. Take a shot. Another big hit. End her turn, and now Lae'zel is here. So let's see if we can actually jump. We can jump Lae'zel back up to here. So now they are going to have to advance again through the cloud of daggers. If they even want to come down here. Doesn't look like they're going to. They just can't reach us up here. So we're good. So now just keep up with cantrips and things like that that don't cause spell slots. Or cost us spell slots, and we can end this. Okay, good. We can still get shots out here. So it's 49%. What about the cantrip? Is it too far? Nope. It's 55. Oh. Now I know what caused that. I hit the spacebar.
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's see if I can get the cantrip. Does reach out that way. Okay. Gervalin's turn does need to be ended. Let's just go back through it all and make sure that's good. Oh, she hasn't taken her shot yet. Let's go ahead and reapply Hunter's Mark here. Go ahead and take that shot. End the turn. Lae'zel's already used her action. The warg's not going to move. Rinse and repeat. %75% chance, and he missed. Oh, I love it. Perfect. Okay. And I only used one healing spell there. So now I can group everybody back up. And I can use a short rest to get most, if not all, of those hit points back. So let's do some character looting here. Very heavy great axe.
I'm exhausted.
We'll take a look at it, but
Camp soon.
you won't be using it. Well, I won't be using it. No need for a fork.
Open up.
Really? Okay. Now we can move up around this way. And keep a close eye here on the windmill. Right there. they have a gnome strapped to the windmill. And that's who they were
watching me.
throwing rocks at and making fun of. Oops. Okay. So now, I think that's everybody. So now the question is, what happens here? Well, we can get everybody down here on solid ground first. I'm going to break the group apart and walk around back here. Looks like we have a windmill that's working. Got a couple of levers for the brake level. Okay.
Come on, untie me.
And you see here he is. You can undo the bindings or you can talk to him first. Always humorous.
Cut me loose.
Yeah, you can bribe him. But I normally don't do that.
Ugh. Maga Kamara. Those pustulant thugs. Well, get on with it. You saved me. Now you'll extort me. That's how this works, yes?
And this is what I was talking about earlier. If you ask him, you know, for something at the beginning, then he's a little more belligerent about the entire thing, because that's what he's expecting. We took the unexpected path, so...
My own fault, really. I should have dropped my pack and outrun those bastards. Alas. Take my pack, if you can find it. The only reason those goblins caught me was its weight. I'll travel lightly from now on. Ignorance is alive and well, it seems. Deep gnomes aren't restricted to the Underdark, you know. I've lived in Baldur's Gate for years. I'm in search of a friend. I fear he's in trouble. See this? I gave it to him years ago before I left home. I found it around the neck of a thug in the lower city. It was speckled with blood. My friend, nowhere to be found. But I still have hope. I have reason to believe he's in the Underdark. Hopefully, I'll pick up his trail from there. I always help my friends. On that note, I bid thee farewell. If we should meet again, well, we will have met again.
Pretty funny interaction there. And he tells you that, you know, he has a pack stashed around somewhere. If you can find it, more power to you. So let's look and see what our spell slots are doing. Still got plenty on the cleric. Gale still has 1 level 2 and 3 level 1s. So I think we're okay for now. So looking at our map, you can see that we've looked at, this is that bridge that we couldn't cross. We've explored quite a bit of the village. We'll go and look around this backside over here. But there's also some other sections over here that we haven't been to. So let's go kind of open up and explore behind the windmill a little bit here. And again, we're not going to loot anything yet.
Moving ahead.
Like I say, we'll come back and do all of that. Pick up all this stuff on the ground and all of that. Just going to clear it out for now.
Shadowheart's attention is fixed on a damaged old statue.
We should keep moving. Nothing. The trick of the light. but something tells me there might be a solution to some of our problems hiding in this wilderness. Let's just call it intuition. We should keep going. If I spot anything, I'll let you know. Perhaps. There are signs that Shah's children attacked Selûnites here. This fight was a long time ago, clearly, but there may still be a Sharan stronghold nearby. There may be help nearby. Let's go.
Okay, so an interesting interaction there. Gives you a little bit more of an insight into her Shar worship and that sort of stuff. No other way down here on this side. Ooh. Like you see, we're gonna run into something down here, and again you can see how pretty most of this looks. This we're going to get to. This is actually the Goblin camp. It's not spoiling anything because there's something pointed right at it. But this is the Goblin camp that we'll be exploring later on in the playthrough. So now let's head back around and look at the other side of the city. And you can see here we have a goblin on patrol. Let's do our best to stay out of detection cone since we were not hidden. It's my fault.
Out of sight, out of mind.
That was kind of close. So there's his detection cone. There he is walking around. Looks like he's by himself. So we can actually split the group here. And if he stops somewhere, maybe we can get a hit on him. Okay.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Okay, so it's a one-on-one fight. That's not going to go well for him. Probably didn't need to do that, but this guarantees the kill.
Have to keep going.
Breathe quiet. Move
Okay.
with care.
Get everybody picked back up. And continue exploring hidden this time. So we make sure we don't run into any more unexpected enemies. Okay, so we have a rune circle here for the Blighted Village. Oh.
Haven't seen that game in years.
Now you can see got some chunky boys in here, and it looks like there's 3 of them. Lump the Enlightened, Fank, and Chock. So they're large, or they're huge enemies, so that means that we're probably not going to be able to do things like entangle them. Web might not even work. It looks like they've killed a tiefling here. But if there's some way for us to get up on top of the building, you can see there is right here. We'll probably want to take that because they will not be able to make those same climbs that we can. So let's go ahead and split the group here. And while we're down here, I'm going to get my familiar back. And I'm going to get my ranger up here on top of the building. We'll see if we can get everybody up on top of the building. Okay. Because if we can, that means they're going to have to maneuver themselves around out here to try and get to a place where they can see us. And that's going to limit their ability to make attacks on us. So let's just go ahead and get everybody up here. And we'll go from there. Again, I don't consider this, you know, against the rules or anything like that, or exploiting anything. In tabletop, you would be maneuvering your characters into the best positions you possibly can to give them advantage. So, I don't see this as being anything out of the ordinary. It's just a lot easier to do it here than it would be in tabletop, so to speak. We'll just get Lazelle over here onto the other side, because they're not going to be able to come around here. They could possibly, nope, they can't come around here either. So they could move around out here though, and possibly see us up there, so we'll just take that into account when we look at the various different options that they have to try and attack us. Now, as huge characters, they do have the ability to pick up and throw other things that we would not have the ability to do. So, we also need to be cognizant of stuff like that as well during this fight. But for now, I think we're going to initiate this, and it looks like everybody's melee, but Lump, he's got a big club on his back. But Lump might be ranged as well, so I think we're going to probably focus on Lump anyway. So let's focus most of our attacks on Lump. So when I start this off, I'm going to start off with an attack against Lump to begin with.
Never wanted the easy path.
Okay. So now, and again, Ensnaring Strike isn't going to work against huge enemies, so we want to not waste a spell slot trying to use that when it's just not going to work. So, but we can do things like Piercing Shot. So let's take a look at that. We got an 85% chance to hit on him. So we got advantage from hiding, but we've got disadvantage because it's outside normal range. So let me see if I can move up one more spot. See if it gets rid of that disadvantage. It doesn't. But we'll go ahead and take that shot anyway. Here's my... Oh, my Raven's not up here. Let's move my Raven up here. Okay. And now we'll initiate this. Okay. So now the turn is commenced. Did get off a good hit. So now we can reapply Hunter's Mark on Lump. We can take a shot. Perfect. And now we can move out of the way. Yeah, because see, now they can't see me from in there. So they're going to have to move out here somewhere to try and see me and make an attack. So now in the meantime here, we can... So what do we have as far as Lump goes? He's almost half of his hit points are gone. So let's see what we can do with... So we could definitely hit 2. I don't think you're actually hitting 3 here. Even though it's lighting them all up, I don't think that's actually going to hit. I think that's right in the middle of all of them. So we won't waste that. So if we do Chromatic Orb... So let's see here. So we don't necessarily need to create a surface. So if we move Gale up to that spot... Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to attack somebody directly with it. So... But 4 to 32 would be a really big hit on him. I'm going to be... It's a 94% chance to hit. I'm gonna be moving there. I think I can probably make that attack and then get him back. Okay. So 15, that was a big hit. So for some reason now that got my my Raven into combat here. Not entirely sure why. Looks like they can see Gale from there. So let's see if we can continue on with this hitting spree.
I shouldn't linger.
See if we can move Lazelle into a point where she can... I don't think... Well, hamstringing shot is going to work. But we can see if we can do a menacing attack ranged. And we can from here. Okay, so he's frightened. That was a good hit. So now last is Shadowheart.
Stay idle.
So we can see if I can get off a guiding bolt, maybe. Let's cast that at level 2.
Let me strike true.
And she didn't get it off before she was seen. Okay. So now it's time to end my ranger's turn. Now my... Let's see if we can fly down here. So who's next? So Fank is next. Well, it's not going to matter. They're all 3 taking a turn here. So let's just move my Raven over into the same basic spot over here. We'll just wait to utilize him until the next one. So let's see what attacks they can get off here. Oh, I forgot they were all surprised. So yeah, now let's cast Guiding Bolt at level 2 down here on Lump. Perfect. That's exactly what you wanted to see. And now we're going to move her back out of the way here, so that she's not able to be seen by anybody down there, but yet can still maybe move back into position next turn to make another attack. So now we'll just go after these two. So let's move myself back out. Reapply Hunter's Mark. Onto Chock, make an attack. Okay, and then move myself back into cover. That's what you want to kind of do with this. Okay. So now these two are always going to stay together during all of this. So if I move my Raven down here, it's going to get attacked. But there's no reason not to do it. So we do still have Lae'zel, who's in a position here that might get attacked by one of these two. So let's go try and at least blind one of them. So what's my Rand division look like on either one? I do have enough movement because I can fly down here. So okay, so a 65% chance to Rend Vision. And missed, of course. Okay. Okay, so you can see they can't get up here. So they're just going to be moving around. So let's go ahead and get... Do I have any scrolls of that? I do have a scroll of it. Let's get a scroll of Witch Bolt here. Okay, so that hit. Gonna end the turn, and now we'll get Lae'zel into a position here. Okay, another big hit. And then we'll again move Lae'zel back out of the way. So 6.2 is going to use up most of her movement. Did get off a hit. Okay, so then we can again move her back out of the way. Ranger. So we've got Hunter's Mark. I actually moved the wrong way. It's Hunter's Mark coordinates here. Yeah, I did move the wrong way. So let's see if moving here I can get a shot. I can get a shot through there. Good. Get it through the wreckage. And again, move her back out of the way. Now let's see if Fank here can see Gale. Okay, so we got Chock that's going to dash around. Looks like he's going to try and come around the outside now. So now we need to be careful of our positioning because Chock is moving around out the back. So we can try and move Gale here. See if he can get a ranged attack in. Can. With glee. Typical for a wizard. Not your best martial combatants. Okay. And now for Lae'zel, what we're gonna maybe do here is, now that these two are separating a bit, we can maybe move Lae'zel down into a spot. Where she can do some more damage directly with melee. So let's see. We can move here now. Let's see. Oh, she can just climb down here. Yep. Okay, she did take 4 points of damage, but that's not a That's not a big deal. So let's see her movement. She's got 2 meters left, so that's not enough to get up close to Fank unless... How far is it? I don't think we'd be able to reach him either way. So let's just go ahead and get... Can we get a ranged attack in? We can get a ranged attack in. No, we can't. Nope. Can't. So we're going to end... No, I don't want to do that. Let's dash. Okay. Just make sure that there's not enough. Let's not use the action surge. So yeah, it's 12 meters. I can reach 10. Okay. So now I can action surge. Well, I can get my pommel strike in first. Okay, now he's dazed. Now I can action surge. And I can get in maybe a menacing attack here. Ooh, big hit. And he's frightened, which is always good. So... And Lae'zel's turn. Okay, not a whole lot that we're going to want to be doing here with our cleric. So let's just get her kind of behind this chimney, maybe, and end her turn. Okay. So now here, let's see if we can maybe... So close. Okay, so he's dashing, which is good. Oh, he is climbing up here. I didn't think he was capable of doing that. I did not think that they were capable of climbing up here. Wow, okay. So now we got an issue. We got a big problem here. Well, maybe. I don't think sleep's gonna work on him. Let's see if we can... Yeah, I don't think sleep's gonna work on him because I think he's got more than... Yeah. See, it's not going to affect him. Okay. So I think we just need to cause as much guaranteed damage on Chock as we can. So... So 49% chance. Boy. Well, it's a coin flip here as to whether it hits. I should probably be using Magic Missile to guarantee the hit. Now, I don't know if color spray... Yeah, so it's not going to work on him either. Well, I think it's best just to go with our biggest hitter here. And see if we can get lucky with a coin flip. Nope, we didn't. Okay. I'm not going to be able to shove him. He's larger than I am. I don't think I'm going to be able to jump. I think this is going to provoke an attack. It did. Okay. But at least it gets... Well, there was no at least. It just is what it is. So Lizelle can take... Actually, I wonder if she can... Well, there's no other way to try it but to see. He doesn't have enough movement to jump back up there. Nope. That was a misplay. So now let's see if I can get off a good-sized hit here. Okay, 17. That's good. I'm gonna move up.
Take
Get some healing on Gale. In that turn.
Despite everything.
Okay. Alright, so now all I can really hope is that he doesn't go after Gale. Great. Okay. So let's see if we can move ourselves into position here. Get one here, the other two here.
That's curious.
Alright. Wasn't the cleanest. Just because I was not expecting them to be able to move up to here. That's rather interesting.
Elminster's not around, so it might as well.
I did not think they were going to be able to climb up here. So... But, it is what it is.
Something over there.
And you did see that there was a perception check here. The wooden support beam. This is something to remember when you're doing these attacks, and I'll move up here so you can better see it. These wooden platforms that are around here and here, there are cracked wooden beams underneath of them. So if you're standing on these wooden platforms, the ogres can actually hit them and knock them out, and you will take fall damage as well as being brought down onto their level. So it can be pretty hairy if you're standing on those things and don't realize that they have that capability. So just be aware of it and you can avoid it.
Let's get going.
Okay, so now we're going to do another short rest. Okay, perfect. Got everything except for one hit point back on Gale, so I think we're still okay. So now we'll go ahead and make a save here. And we'll go through a level up. Okay, so I can do a replacement spell here. I don't think I want to remove any of these. I don't think I want to do any of that at this point, so I'm not going to do a replacement spell. So now we have ability score improvements. And first thing to do is to remove all of these. You can see what your current stats are at. I've got +3 to dexterity. If I add a point into dexterity, I can now get +4 to dexterity. I've got +2 to my wisdom ability. If I add 1 to wisdom, I'm now at +3. So that's a great improvement for the ranger. So dex and wisdom being the two main scores for ability checks and to hit. So obviously good things to do. So we'll go ahead and accept that. For Shadowheart, you can pick what cantrip she wants. So either light or thaumaturgy. It's kind of easy to forget that that targets that you can physically see might not be in full light. The game kind of makes targets a lot easier to see than they would be in real life, so to speak. So targets that are in darkness are harder to hit. And light helps counteract that to a certain extent. You can infuse an object with an aura of light that's going to light up an area, or you can infuse a target with light. So no matter if they're in darkness or not, they're always as if they're fully lit up and bright. So it makes 2 hit rolls a lot easier. But it's a melee effect you can see. Whereas thaumaturgy is something that you're going to use kind of very situationally. It is a way to get you advantage on intimidation checks. I don't normally use my cleric to do that, but it can be, again, situationally useful. I think I'm probably gonna stick with light. There's actually something that I wanted to check here, though. Give me just a second. Because the question is... Yeah, right. That's kind of what I thought. Okay. Thaumaturgy isn't like the guidance cantrip. Thaumaturgy has to be cast before you go into a conversation. It can't be cast while you're in a conversation. So you have to know that you want to be using it before you go into it. If you just cast it every time, that's certainly fine, but again, it's not something that can be situationally to your benefit when you need it. You just realize that I want to try and intimidate somebody. It doesn't work that way. You have to cast it before you go into it. So I think I am going to keep light here. Again, going to be less useful than a lot of things, but I think more useful than thaumaturgy. Neither one of these, I think, are really great options to do. So keep that. Look at my prepared spells. So it added command, which I don't like. So what other options do we have here? Again, Prayer of Healing can only be used outside of combat. Lesser Restoration, we have an amulet for that now, so we don't need to worry about it. Silence is just extraordinarily useful. I can get that cast from both wizards and clerics, but it's much more of a cleric thing. Blindness is also really good, but I'm going to put silence in here. So now ability improvements. So again, get rid of both of these and kind of see where she's at. She doesn't have any odd character ability scores here, but I can put both of these into wisdom to get her wisdom up to 18. Getting us up into odd numbers isn't going to increase any of these plus modifiers like it did with my ranger, but I can put them both into wisdom and get us up to 18 on the wisdom, so that's what I'll go ahead and do. Oh, that's some screen tearing there. I don't know if that came through on the game or not, or on the stream or not. So now, let's look and see what we have here. Nothing for a fighter. It's simply ability score increases. So let's look and see. We have an odd for a strength, so we can definitely up that to 18. And now we have evens on all the others except for dexterity. But I think an intelligence we don't really care about. It's a dump stat that we don't really care about dealing with on her. But Dex, let's just go ahead and add that extra one into Dex to get us a +2 from a +1 for any dexterity modifiers that she needs. Yes. And last is Gale. So cantrips. So let's remove Acid Splash and look at what other options we have here for cantrips. So, again, Friends is just useless for me. I'm just going to say it that way. So looking at other options, Chill Touch is a ranged spell. It's not, contrary to the name, it is not a melee type spell. So that's good. You can cast it a ways away. Same thing for Acid Splash. So a couple of different good ranged options there for dealing with them. Blade Ward is a defensive thing. I don't normally get my casters into specific situations where I need a whole lot of defense like that. Dancing Lights does the same thing that I talked about it with Light earlier here, except Light does one target and illuminates it. Dancing Lights does it in a big radius, so it can light up a large area. Minor Illusion is another defensive type of cantrip, so that if you're hidden, you can cast this. It creates a duplicate of you that is going to distract other enemies from attacking you. Poison Spray is always interesting, but again, it's like a cone that shoots out in front of you, and it's only 3 meters in distance. So if I'm getting that close, I've probably got a problem. Shocking Grasp is a melee cantrip, which I don't want to deal with. True Strike is nice. The thing about it, and let me look, is I don't know if it confers that advantage on attack rolls to everybody in your party or just for me. Yeah. I think it's just me. Meaning that if I cast this, everybody else in my party isn't going to be able to benefit from that advantage. So, again, I'm not going to be the one doing the melee spells very often. So, I'm not going to worry about it very much. So, I think I'm going to go with Chill Touch. Because they are going to get disadvantage on attack rolls if it hits. So, let's go ahead and choose that. Look at my new spells. Mel's Acid Arrow is obviously good, but we'll eliminate these and now go look and see what other options we have. So, the same ones that we were looking at previously. So, Mel's Acid Arrow is a good one. It can do pretty good damage. It also creates an acid surface when it hits. So, it's good. Misty Step is, again, just so very, very good. Let me look and see if any of the others here. I want to use. I think I am going to take Misty Step. Yeah, I think I am going to do that. Oof. No, no, I'm not. I'm gonna leave Gale as being a damage dealer. Misty Step is really good. I would have it normally for. So let's get rid of Witch Bolt. No, let's leave Witch Bolt in there because Witch Bolt's level 1. And we'll put Melf's Acid Arrow in here. We're going to remove... Nope, Chromatic Orb's level 1. We need a good balance between level 1 and level 2 spells. Here, so... Yeah, we got some area denial, So I could technically get rid of one of these. Web is a bigger area. And also occurs disadvantage, whereas Cloud of Daggers just does damage when they pass through it. Both very useful in different situations. So I think I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, and now the ability scores. Let's move and see where we're at. So his main stat is intelligence, but he also has a constitution that's at an odd number. So to get intelligence up to 4, I'm going to have to put both points into intelligence, which I think is still probably good. I could increase his hit points by putting one more into constitution, but I think I'm going to skip it and give him a +4 on the intelligence bonus there. Okay.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Now let's take care of some character looting here. Bring everybody down. I think I already looted the brawler, right? Oh, I didn't. Okay, take care of Lump here. We'll look at all these things here as after we finish. Okay. So now if we come out the back here, looks like we have another way to go out here. Okay. All right. And you know who Volo is. We talked to him in the camp. We talked to him in Druid's Grove. So, do have another loose boulder here. Click and drag. Doesn't look like there was anything underneath it. Got another loose boulder here. We can actually pick up this book as well. Nothing underneath it. Okay, and now we can kind of start looting a little bit here. So we'll just go pick up all the normal stuff here as we go through, because we're cleared out of enemies here inside the upper portion of the Blighted Village. So we can come back in here and look around at the various things. There's also, remember, a dead tiefling under here that you can hold Alt and do a search on. Okay, so there's another book over here. And you can search the bookcase.
Someone's diary. Might explain what happened here.
Lots of camp supplies, which are always good. Always very needed. Never neglect to pick up any camp supplies that you run across. So we've got a couple other books here.
Wish I had a bag of holding.
Wardrobe. And like I say, we'll go through our inventory here in a second. And start looking at these items that we're picking up here. Okay, you can see the pole to hold this up, the cracked beam over here, or one of these to hold this one up. Yeah, crack support beam. So just be aware of them. We have another rock down here. I'm not encumbered, am I? Oh, I am. Oops. Okay, so let's clear out some of these books here. Bolo's Guide we read. Okay, move that over. The Folly in the Fall. And again, these things that are one-offs, type of books and manuscripts and that sort of stuff, you can read through because they can possibly give you quests. Okay? So that's the reason that you read through them. Okay. Let's actually go to the graveyard and look for where McCurwin is buried. Get digging, you'll find enough valuables to settle matters between us. So you can see that it leads to some secret stuff. Whether that be quests or loot, things like that you can pick up. Okay. Curious book actually has some wine in the middle of it.
Like their books to have a twist.
Or maybe a bit of a drinking problem.
Okay, the oil lamp, there's nothing to it.
An ordinary lamp. Not a trace of magic on it.
You try and use it, nothing happens. So... okay. So let's get rid of some of this other stuff. The camp supplies that we don't need to keep. And we'll kind of look around here. So now what we have left with the goblin bow over here. Okay. So warped headband of intellect increases the wearer's intelligence to 17. Just a flat out bump to intelligence. That's what it is. So if you look at your character sheet here, and look at the intelligence scores. So mine is obviously very low. I'm getting a -1 on those checks. So let's go ahead and remove our leather helmet and put the headband of intellect on. We can take the leather helmet and we can just give it to Lae'zel. No reason why not to. Okay, so that gets the carry weight down there. Now, some of the other things that we picked up, the very heavy Great Axe, 2 to 13 damage, still doesn't compare to the Everburn Blade. This thing that we picked up in the prologue through some good RNG is gonna serve us well for a very, very long time. So there's just no reason to look at other two-handed weapons that will compete with that. There aren't going to be any. So as far as the rest of it goes, that's about it. You can see the ruby is worth a whole lot of gold that we can sell. So that's obviously good. For the rest of it, we'll kind of wait a minute, I think. Because, yeah, the rest of it is just, there's nothing serious to deal with. Okay. And we do have another rock here. Nothing underneath it.
What's inside?
And all of this stuff that we're picking up is really just going to end up getting sold, for the most part. Doesn't mean it's not worth picking it up, because there is money in this. So, nothing worth picking up there. There. That's all cheap. And that's cheap as well. Okay, so this is that backward, or that back way that we noticed right when we were exploring back here. A way to jump up here and get into the Blighted Village from another direction. So holding Alt periodically, looking around, picking up a bucket, nothing that's serious here that you want to look at. Let's go up the back way and into this building here. Okay. Now, in here's the Apothecary shop. So there's going to be a bunch of searchable stuff in here. All these bookcases. Oops. Okay. So now you see we have a wooden hatch here. This is one of the things I was talking about earlier. There's a lot of quote-unquote underground areas here to explore. We are going to get to those. We're just probably not going to get to it in this stream. We've got 40 minutes left or so. It's going to take us 40 minutes to go through the rest of this, and then to get back into sell items that we have, clear out our inventory and all that sort of stuff. So we are definitely not going to get to it today.
It says there's a cellar here somewhere.
Okay. But it does say, again, opens up a quest, journal updated for search the cellar, and that's what's down through here. So, pick that up, though. See, we have a potion of sleep, potion of healing. Another bookshelf to search. Okay. Now the other side of the room, kind of the same thing. Okay, nothing there, so look here, we have an antitoxin. Always good. We do have a lot of other types of bottles up here and that sort of stuff, which can be worth more, like this round flask. So you can look around and see if you think it's worth picking some of these up. These empty potion bottles are worth 10 gold apiece, but it's completely up to you. Like I say, I'm just the type of person that loots everything as much as I possibly can to take it with me, but you certainly don't have to. So walking into this room, holding Alt, just checking to see what's around. Crystal ball, only worth 1 gold. Not gonna pick it up. Plate, again, only worth 1. Pick up the book. Oops. Wardrobe. Okay. Go in here to the bedroom. Nothing there. Couple of healing potions, always good. Now we can come out the front here. And now you recognize where we are. We're back at the very start at the main entrance where we came into the Blighted Village. Okay. Now we're going to go back up here to the middle. Actually, we won't. We'll hold on that. Because we're going to come back to the middle right before we leave. When we teleport back to the Druid's Grove to sell our stuff. Okay. So inside here, holding Alt, a journal down here, kind of hidden back behind it. Okay. Right, so again, that's what I say about these one-off type of books. It always helps to read them before you sell them. Because they can open up quests or give you more information to help complete quests that you already have. And that's kind of what's happening here. It's obviously a blacksmith shop, and we kind of ran into part of it earlier. Another shovel if you need to pick one up. Cutting board, none of this stuff is worth carrying. This stuff, now we do have some weapons over here. Battle axe, spear. I am going to have to get rid of that encumbrance now. Putting these over to Lozelle. I can pick these books. And once you get the information for your quest, then you don't have to keep the books anymore at that point. So okay. Now you did see there's an old key here. That tells you can see it, but it shows you how hard it is to see some of these things. So the Alt, holding the Alt key is very, very useful. Nothing. Dagger up here. Nothing here. And we can head out. And again, we're going to save this for the next stream. Okay. So now we'll head back over here to where we killed the bugbear. Camp supplies, always good. Again, my obsession with bottles. And I'm not even picking up all the bottles. Trust me when I say that. There's bottles sitting on counters around here that I have not picked up. Okay. So, looking around here, you can see there's a pipe here. It's not worth anything, though. We have some faded blueprints on the wall, though. You can look at them. Alright, so if you go in here and look at them. Nope, you can't look at them. I thought you could. I guess you can't. But those are not the blueprints that you're looking for. He said he stashed his blueprints. So that kind of gives you a clue that that's not what you're really looking for. Okay. So nothing around the back over here. We do possibly have another rock. Nothing underneath it. Holding the Alt key as you move around. Okay, no perception checks that opened up or anything like that. Okay. Right. Looks like another rock over here. Nothing. Okay, so you can see some roasted meat here. It's got an interaction on it, which is kind of strange. So again, anytime you see strange little one-offs like that, or things you're not used to seeing, it's Dungeons and Dragons. So you should be prepared for the unexpected. So you start thinking, why is it there? Okay. So we will send that to camp. And we're going to move these two over to Gale, even though I don't have to. They're not worth, or they don't have hardly any weight. Okay, so we're going to click on the meat.
Feast fit for an ogre. You notice a peculiar dagger protruding from the tough, leathery meat.
Okay. And this is actually new. I didn't see this in my previous playthrough. See, now I have a +4 for dexterity rolls. So I also have +4 from the headband, +2 from investigation, and -1. So that's actually +5 here. Okay, and I can also add in a cantrip bonus. See if we roll good enough to make it. We're not going to. Nope. We didn't. I'm going to roll that again. Use one of my inspirations. Oh, jeez. Come on. You're killing me. I'll use another inspiration to do it. This isn't that hard. Not with all these bonuses. Jeez. Wow.
You notice the blade is at an angle to the meat's grain. If you align the dagger with the grain, it should slip out easily. Thanks to your keen eye, the dagger glides smoothly out of the mystery meat.
Okay. So, got a dagger. You can open it up and look at it. Just a dagger +1. So oh yeah, I was like, why is that? Okay, yes. So a straight upgrade over the short sword that I had. So definitely something to keep in there. I don't use melee very often with my ranger, but... And now I wonder...
Mystery meat, tough as boar hide. Only the sharpest teeth could pierce it.
Okay, yeah, nothing left there then. Okay, so it tells you that ogres were eating here, but the ogres that we fought were way on the other side. Over there. So, yeah, they were way over here. Yeah, way over here. So, why is there ogre meat here?
Extextura!
As you approach, a guttural scream and a succession of quick bangs rattle the door. Then, a low moan. Someone, or something, is having a bit of fun.
Okay, interesting.
Go away!
So, something is in there having a bit of fun. So, we have to make a choice here on either opening the door or leaving. So, I guess there's probably a couple of different ways to go about this. Let's actually try and leave here and see. No, you can get up on top here. Let's actually do that. Let's see if we can get everybody up top. Yeah. Okay, so we can get everybody up here. Let's see if we can jump to make the high roof.
What the hell are you doing?
I didn't click to come in through the door. Okay.
Ruined. Smash. Oh, smash you!
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, okay. For some reason, it triggered this. I was hoping to draw them all out here. So everybody is involved in this now. So I think I'm going to I guess the question is, yeah, I'm gonna disengage. And I'm gonna move out here.
No time to waste.
Because the rest of my party's out here and they can't attack what's going on inside. So we've got a bugbear and an ogre. So she's gonna get her chance. Oh, she's dashing. Well, unless she's got action surge. Nope, she doesn't. Okay. So he's got one level 2 and one level 1 spell left. He's got to come out from there. So let's get Gale to cast Cloud of Daggers here. Why isn't he able to do that? Weird. I'll move him up to the edge and now try it again. Okay, now it's gonna work. Okay. Now I can move him kind of back a little bit, or out of the way a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna matter very much. Okay, so my raven can fly down. That was interesting. I don't know why me landing next to it made the ogre take some more damage, but I'm going to try and blind the ogre here. Perfect. Blinded. Now the bugbear is going to have to come out through the cloud of daggers. And he did. Okay. So now I can reapply Hunter's Mark down here. I think we want to try and take out... Let's, no, it'd be the same. Okay, perfect. More good hits. Okay, and that turn, and now Lazelle is gonna have a big hit here. A big hit. And that's the critical hit you want to see. So let's put a pommel strike onto him. Missed. We'll action surge. Oh, come on. That's just stupid. Okay. No, that's just dumb. I hate that portion of the game where it just decides randomly for you that that when you move, you're already inside of the zone for opportunity. So moving inside of it and staying inside of the zone of opportunity shouldn't trigger an attack of opportunity.
I need to
But
rest soon.
the game just decides it does. So. Okay, so we'll actually wait a second for the daggers to wear off before we go too much closer here. Okay, there they go. Wasn't the way I intended to initiate that combat, but still worked out. Would have been flawless except for that stupid mechanic.
Just another crate.
Don't know why I was doing Send 2 on those. Just did. Alright, more camp supplies. And this is why you always come into this room. No matter what. You always want to come in here just because there's valuable loot in here. I'm going to toggle my group here. Oops. We can send that to camp. The realm according to Bumpo. Okay. Holding the alt key. Anything back here? Doesn't look like it. There is a rock here. Nothing. Pile of bones. Nothing. And a corpse here. Nothing. Now we do have...
Mortuis in lingua mortua.
Okay. So it was worth a try, but nothing. So you can see that you can speak with the dead out here. Interesting. Okay. Yep.
In nocte concilium.
The corpse regards you lifelessly. The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay. So the Speak with the Dead spell is really cool. It allows you to gather more information about what's happening in the story and what's happening in things around you. But also you can saw I gained an inspiration from it. So I used a couple of inspiration rolls up there, trying to withdraw that dagger. So this helps get them back in certain instances.
Weapon search. Take, break, butters. Absolute. Only goddess. Moonrise. Hills. Then. Moonrise. Intruders. Me and Butters. Ruined.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Yes, interesting stuff there. Some of it we obviously already knew. Okay, another book over here. Alright. So, continuing on around. We already dug up and looted that chest when we were over here. There's nothing else around here. So we can head back in. Now, where they were coming from... Oh, whoops.
Moonhaven.
Okay. don't think I have any short rest left yet. No. After this, what we're going to do is we're going to head back, sell off our stuff, and do a long rest. Get everything back. Get prepared again for the underneath areas, so to speak, of this place. So, we've already gone through everything in here. So now we're going to head up to the windmill area.
Something good here, I hope.
We checked out the little island thing that was behind it. We'll want to look at the mauled sheep. I don't think... yeah. Okay, I don't think there's anything else down here. Don't think there were any rocks or anything. Nope. Okay. We're going to go back around. See, we have a wooden hatch. Goes down underneath this area. Go pick up the studded shield. Go around the back over here. I want to break the group apart again. And just take the ranger in here. Because we have a ladder. Some other stuff to loot in here. And there's no point in having everybody clustered up in here. Okay, so nothing here. Nothing else down here, so let's head up. Okay, so we have a goblin bow and scimitar up here. Makeshift spear. Large bottle. Necessarily need that. Okay, good. More camp supplies. Okay. Just turns the brazier on and off, and nothing else. Okay, so the two weapons that we picked up, since we're encumbered again. Oops. We can move those over to the three weapons we picked up. And the shield. Okay, put the group back together. Okay, and now that we're out here in the center, we can loot this stuff out here. Nothing. Oops.
Just another crate.
Okay. All these camp supplies. Very, very useful. You should never run out of camp supplies. Not in this game. So let's try and lockpick this chest. Okay. We can add the guidance cantrip back in. Need a 15 here. Perfect. Good roll. Good roll. Okay. We'll look at that here in a second. I don't really need to do this, but I think it's over here. Oh, okay. It's this side. Okay, put the group back together. Nothing, head back over here. Go through looting all of this stuff. As we learned last time, thieves' tools are expensive. So, picking them up, even if you're not going to use them, picking them up and selling them is, can get you a lot of gold, so. Interesting. Can't see. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means.
Objective noted.
Move Lizelle closer and see if we can... What does can't see mean? Typical. I knew you could do that.
Children. Maggie Terrance, Marcus Terrance, Mathan Deach, Rochelle Kirk.
That's what I was trying to do earlier with the massive rock fail.
Anything of use?
At the end of the last live stream. So I knew you could do that. I just don't know why the clicking and dragging method didn't work on this one like it has on all the others. Or something weird about can't see there that I've never seen that error message for. So not entirely sure why it was there. Okay. So now you see we can kind of speak with the dead on this tiefling here.
The tiefling's corpse stirs with the spell.
Okay, and I failed the perception check.
Strange warriors. Gold. Skin. Silver blades.
Quick of foot, this one, to avoid Githyanki hunters.
Mountains. Road. Gate. True sight. No coin. El Torel. Zoru. Friend. Ogres, hungry, bloodied, screams.
Okay. So you learned some interesting information there. Looks like a friend of Zoru, who we know from the camp, or from Druid's Grove, has been killed here. Now the other thing you can see is that we have a couple of goblins out here. They're not hostile at this particular second, but we're going to make them hostile.
No time for mercy.
This is just a simple cleanup combat. I'd actually forgotten they were there, but nothing that these are going to be able to do that's going to affect me really. So yep, easy as that. So obsession with bottles. Okay. Go out here and we'll just loot this goblin here. We won't go too far down this road. Okay. And you can see all of this area out here around the Blighted Village that we have yet to explore. So what we are going to do though is we're going to head back, and with our last few minutes here we're going to head back to... She must be encumbered again. Yes, because of this.
What tales of her reach us are terrifying.
Some lag there.
I suppose that's not how you would describe it.
Okay, so the haste helm, you get momentum for 3 turns. If you inspect this, momentum increases your movement speed by 3 meters. So the haste helm at the start of combat, the wearer is going to gain 3 extra meters of movement speed. So that's a great thing for Lizelle to wear, to be able to get her into combat range early on. So something very useful. We also have a helmet here that can't land critical hits. Might as well put that on Shadowheart. Okay. Oops. Okay, and we're gonna head back. Did I... Yes, I did. Okay. Head in here, head back to the grove. Sell this stuff off real quick and get us ready for the final explorations around the Blighted Village, and then continuing on from the Blighted Village to other things that are around this area. But I think what we're probably going to first focus on is clearing out the rest of the Blighted Village, exploring the underground areas of the Blighted Village. And that is probably, if I had to guess, going to take up most of the next stream. So I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to create a new save. And then looking through all of these items that are in here, there's nothing in particular that is of any major importance to go through. So most of these items I can just sell off and not worry about it, and I don't have to take up your guys' time to do that. So I think what I'll do is off stream I'll just take care of cleaning out the inventory, selling off a bunch of unwanted items. But if we are planning on purchasing anything, I'll make sure I note that when we come back, and we'll pick it up from there. So like I say, we'll take care of selling this off, we'll get a long rest in, and we'll pick it back up here next week, and we'll go continue through the Blighted Village. Again, thanks everybody for showing up. I certainly appreciate it. Sorry if you made a comment here and I wasn't able to respond to it. I get distracted sometimes, so for those of you who are viewing, I do apologize. I'll try and do better at doing that. So if you have any comments, please feel free to make those down in the comment sections afterward, and I will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.